Hey Helldivers! I wanted to share with you a quick conversation I had with Shams Jorjani, CEO of Arrowhead Game Studios, on the Helldivers 2 Discord, recently covered on Game Rant, regarding the company's approach to development. As someone with a long time in the game industry, I was curious as to why Arrowhead hasn't provided a roadmap or just a general sense of direction regarding key new features and updates. When I posed the question, the response was transparent and insightful, which I really appreciate. I'll post it here. Two things: lack of initiative on our part, and that we aren't reliable enough in planning to be able to do that. Plus the game is in flux, and we like not knowing what will happen next. I've seen this approach to development before, particularly in engineering-led organizations, which has its pros and cons. Before this response, I had asked as a Helldivers 2 content creator for any kind of insight into what's coming down the pipeline, even just generally speaking, and was greeted with a humorous retort, however entertaining, offers an interesting insight into how product development is managed at Arrowhead. Approach to game development, even software in general, boy, it is a hot button issue with heated debates commonplace in professional circles and even in the conference room. I can tell you that from my experience, engineering-led development organizations tend to deliver content more slowly and at times chaotically, sometimes in big chunks, then none at all, with the biggest risk of it occurring without a close connection to the needs of the user. A common point of contention in such organizations is the need to refactor or replatform without clear guardrails and without the injection of new content to keep the game vivid. Potential manifestations of this may be occurring at Arrowhead is the massive round of nerfs that the weapons got several months ago that resulted in tanking player counts and the release of several war bonds that, to many, haven't quite hit the mark. Perhaps most telling is the pace of new content development. Arrowhead is a relatively small team, but they aren't exactly tiny, able to release a decent clip of content evidenced by the array of content leaks we've seen buried in production releases behind feature flags. Considering initial box sales of 12 million units, they aren't exactly lacking of funds to reinvest. The thing is, product management isn't just there to make a roadmap, but to research into and deliver value as efficiently as possible. And there is something to be said for a system that holds itself, design, engineering, QA, everyone's feet to the fire. What's that quote from Leonard Bernstein? To achieve great things, two things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. There is nothing more terrifying to a studio than setting a timeline and missing it. You get flamed by gamers who are not the most forgiving, and the industry in general takes notice. As I alluded to, there is something to be said of giving engineering the time and breathing room to work without some project manager asking for an update in the daily stand-up. However, structure, even a rough sense of it, tied to well-understood target values validated through customer feedback, can only help a product like Helldivers 2. It's my hope that as the game continues to mature, we'll find a balance between keeping development dynamic, fresh, and exciting while having some sense of the amazing things to look forward to. I'd love to hear your thoughts, either as a game development professional or just a fan of the game. What do you think of this conversation? Does it make you at all nervous or pleased to hear that developers are playing things by ear?